This is a video that really hurts me to make. Sookie and Jackson are a couple of people that quickly made me go from
I am in love with you. And I know that love is just a shout into the void.
To
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
To
Why, God, why? How can you take them away from me?
Today I want to dive into talking about why fans stopped rooting for Sookie and Jackson.
Sierra loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh yeah.
And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show. When the audience was first introduced to the idea of Sookie and Jackson, it started with Sookie. Sookie was just beginning to put herself out there and formed a crush on Jackson at work, since he was the produce guy for the Independence Inn. I always thought that they were so cute, and while there's some truth to that, during one of my rewatches, medically prescribed by my doctor, I noticed that there was such a decline in their relationship, and one of their most important and intense storylines is often overlooked. Sookie shows interest in Jackson in season 1. They have some good moments early on. After their date, Sookie overcomes her dating anxiety and makes it clear to Jackson that she's interested in dating him. In season 2, they get married, and while a lot of people found their proposal to be anticlimactic, I found it adorable, especially when Sookie asks Jackson if he's pregnant. But their relationship hit its first conflict in season 3, episode 7, where Sookie decides to try and confide in Lorelai for relationship advice. Sookie, out of shock, agrees to having 4 kids in 4 years after Jackson brings it up at dinner. She retells this story to Lorelai, and in turn, Jackson decides to take his frustration out on Lorelai, even though Sookie was the one who asked her opinion. Lorelai was just chatting with her friend who came to her for advice. How was she butting in? It's not like she begged Sookie to fill her in on her life. Sookie voluntarily told her it was something that she wasn't sure about. In my honest opinion, I feel like she was just trying to get her to advocate for herself because she was seeming so nervous about the situation. I feel like he blew that totally out of proportion, and Sookie shouldn't have mentioned Lorelai's opinion because it didn't matter. Sookie was the one that was uncomfortable, and she should have stood on that. Later, Sookie says that she resolved the problem with Jackson and that he was open to anything that she wants, which is why the next sequence of events is utterly frustrating and shocking. Later in season 3, episode 16, Sookie finds out that she's pregnant. 2 out of 3 of Sookie's pregnancies are controversial because both of them have a situation where Jackson does something idiotic or just strange in relation to Sookie's pregnancy. Sookie finds out she's pregnant and he's calculating numbers instead of showing even the slightest bit of excitement until much closer to the end of the episode. In the very next episode, he yells at Rory in the street about not asking Sookie to be the chef or the birthday surprise she's planning for Lorelai. In season 4, episode 3, Sookie signs her and Lorelai up for catering a Hobbit-themed kid's birthday party. Sookie makes adult food instead of things that kids generally like to eat, and when she realizes it wasn't the proper food, she begins to question whether she's meant to be a mom. Melissa McCarthy's performance was brilliant, and it makes me tear up every time. Whoever crafted that storyline was really thinking outside of the box there, as for many expectant mothers, this is a common fear. Even as a dog mom / mother of none, I found this moment to be extremely heartfelt. It was a genius idea. Sookie does a home birth, which if most of you didn't know, they were still kind of taboo around this time period. In the early 2000s. Fast forward to season 5, Sookie discovers she's pregnant with her second child. This pregnancy seems to be one she is happy with, but right after the birth of baby number 2, Sookie reveals to Jackson that she's had him scheduled for a vasectomy because she does not want any more children. While I don't agree with her taking his choice away, and I think that she should have had a discussion with him before, what Jackson does next is arguably worse than that. Sookie begins to exhibit signs that she's pregnant again, and Jackson, who seems to have known about this for a while, that he got her pregnant again, reveals that he knows she got pregnant because he never had the vasectomy like he told her he would, and uses "I thought she was on the pill" as the worst excuse known to man for getting his wife pregnant. We're not talking about a minor little white lie, we're talking about a monumental lie.
We're not talking about this or this. We're talking about this.
About doing something to prevent a baby from coming into the world. We begin to see them have a major decline after this. In episode 19 of season 7, we see Sookie being a lot more aggravated by Jackson than usual and talking to him like a child. It's revealed later that this is a direct result of him lying to her about getting the vasectomy. Part of me kind of feels like he did it on purpose because he wanted 4 on 4 so badly, but I want to hear what you think. Do you think he got her pregnant on purpose? Do you think that they made a good couple? Comment below your thoughts and remember to be kind to people in the comments. You know something though that's what's really weird about their proposal though is the fact that it's right after he isn't clear about wanting to live together. Back in the early 2000s and even before then, this theme of like not clearly communicating things in relationships but instead just like dropping hints was looked at as like a cute thing, but now that we're evolving more as a society, stuff like this has proven to just cause more conflict. I mean, just think about how they could have literally avoided that whole confusion if he would have just said, hey, I want to live with you. The only reason that I can look at that moment as cute and that he's slightly getting away with that kind of proposal is because he didn't necessarily propose just to stop the argument. Or at least that's not how it comes off to me. But anyway, again, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.